So I have kind of a little collection that spans across some of my different works to kind of give us a little bit more diversity in what I'm reading today. Um, I put it in a folder that I'm calling Femme Fatalities. I've been really obsessed with basically all vampire literature and media since I was born. I read Carmilla recently, so after reading that, I wrote this as kind of an homage to Laura and Carmilla's relationship. It's called Mine. I wish to entwine your body in the vines of sweet spring blooms like the ones you'd lay upon my pillow. To taste your sweet nectar that I know so intimately. Licking it from your skin as thorns pierce your body, it's a poison. You looked upon me smiling and said, "You've drank from the body of a dead woman." Choke. She hung there laughing as my legs gave out. Look at me and know, I love you.
Have you watched the film Daughters of Darkness?
I haven't. I should. Will I write something good after watching it? Yeah. This poem I call Gift. Honesty about who you are is viewed as one of the most intimate things you can give your partner. You don't realize your vulnerability will make it all the more worse. Laying your whole being in front of them wrapped up in a neat box with shiny paper, beautiful ribbons, soft colors. We forget it has to be opened. Tearing the paper and throwing it around in a frenzy, prying the cardboard open just to remove the present. Their face excited, gaze shimmering with awe, coveting the item with a tight grip. The box is empty, watching from the floor. The person who's in love with their content is just as much a gift. The grateful box is smiling, then is discarded after it's served its purpose. Often the present not far behind, because it wasn't viewed as good enough anymore. I'm not going to bore you with capitalistic novelty being a metaphor for a selfish, dying relationship any longer. I think it's easy enough to read it in the card. Before I read this next one, I'm going to start by saying I think marriage is beautiful and I don't hate it by any means. This poem is called Prayer Girl. The devil wears white and walks down the aisle carrying a bouquet of damnation. Obscenities dripping from her hands, stained with blood. Sanguine fluid to infect its new host and tossed to the virgins in the crowd. The vine grabs hands like a disease. The winner is given the curse of the mantis. An acute sense of possible nates, a great devourer, a lonesome space, an empty cavern of conception, a cavity where he will eventually go. He will go head first. It's never enough. She doesn't understand. What's a meal without satisfaction? A silver tray with the head of St. Peter and a glass of wine. The unceremonious contempt of love, rife with anguish. Her mouth spits pleads that will be met mercilessly. Why did I want this? Did I want this? Who made me want this? Nothing is better. They've lied. Great ancestral mouths of deceit. Her youth is gone now, far too early. She's trapped in a cage of clamorous thoughts and obligations. Her back sore from carrying the emotional weight she's barely enduring. Every little girl's dream. I'm gonna hop around and try and find something a little funnier. Not my strong suit, I will add that. This one, though not funnier, my father did pass last year, and I wrote this for his funeral. and he was a huge supporter of mine, and I would like to remember him right now while I do this. It's called My Father Who Art in the Woods. He walks on the leaves and he places his hands upon the trees. Knowing peace, he finds God there, the sunlight washing down and warming his face. My dad often didn't see a single hair of anything when he was hunting, but he wasn't often disappointed. The scenery was bountiful enough. He's meant to be there, and I hope he walks freely. And as another commemoration, I wrote a new poem recently that's actually about the gay club in the town that I'm from called Someplace Else, as kind of a commemoration of all the queer people that built the gay community and the clubs throughout the years and the sacrifice that they had made for us. So I would love to share that with you guys right now. I named it Someplace Else after the place. Gay clubs were so important, more than we'll ever experience now. When we go now, it's to have fun, be loud, and be seen. For them, it was the only place they could be seen, a safe place to be seen, and the only place they knew they could be who they were without their families or friends knowing. A place of glitter, style, performance, and drama. Somewhere to get away from what the rest of their lives looked like, what it meant for them. The walls of those clubs are rich with history. Those walls watched the community grow, how the trends and people changed. They saw excitement, enthusiasm, love, and terror, in moments when it was no longer safe to be seen. The floor was no longer filled with glitter and light, but bodies. The fear and rage in 1969 and the solemnness of 81, and countless other years. That's why the queer community has such a long history with partying. If you walk down the street every day knowing if anyone knew you, really knew you, you could die at any moment. You try and love life as aggressively and quickly as possible, clinging to happiness with a horrifying desperation. Even now, some still have that taken from them. Every time I step into a club, I can feel them. I look at the badly painted walls and concrete floor with pride. I'm still here, and the queer people before us worked tirelessly to keep it there. It was their home, their joy, their safe house for self-expression. The one thing they could leave for someone else when they needed to go someplace else. Do I have time for a couple more?
Yeah, you have till 4:30. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay, cool. I do have time for a couple more. I didn't even know there was a clock up there. It's right in front of my face. I call this one Reflecting Love. The mirror was in love with the girl, but she hated the sight of it. But it tried over and over again to show her how he reflected upon her. Everyone deserved to see how wonderful she is. But that just made the girl despise the mirror more. Every reflective surface reminds her of what he shows her, and she doesn't understand why he's doing this by continuously pointing out her horrible features. Why he mocks her and makes her look upon all her flaws, to look upon the embarrassment she is. Such a high level of cruelty. He wants to reach out to her, yell her praises, and force her to see everything she should love about herself. He's just being honest, but he can't. He's just glass and wood, stuck in place and unmovable, too stiff to even wobble. He sits there while his want to reflect her makes her hate herself a little bit more every day. His love slowly killing her inhumanely. His attention is fatal. I have another vampire poem for you that is inspired by the Interview with the Vampire series that started up, I think, in 2022. I just started watching it recently. Yeah, I'm not completely caught up with it yet, but I'm so excited to be caught up with it. I have. I watched it when it was on TV. A very big fan. That's such a loaded question. So this one takes after Interview with the Vampire. It as a reflection of Louis and Lestat's relationship. It's called Return to My Eyes. I have lived a life haunted by you, your shadow turning corridors before my eyes can meet your figure. Just apparated strands of hair in my vision, soft footsteps leaving my ears. I haven't slept in a long time, fearful of slipping into the next century, completely losing the chance of meeting you. Life has become insipid, a boring and tedious condition. If I am to shoulder this curse, please soothe me with the sight of your face once more. This one is called Kids Are Us. Not Are Us, or Us. And I wrote it after Roe v. Wade was overturned. It comes from a very real place. I feel like a lot of women had to revisit after everything, after so many years of fighting. And I think it's an absolute shame to have all of that effort just completely thrown out. Not only by the people in charge, but a lot of the ones who saw it passed, which is so very, very sad to me. Shelves on shelves of products, sellable and licensed women and people with uteruses. Price tags that list the amount of time left to make a baby. It hangs heavy from my neck. I so badly wish to leap from it. A happy little dolly dangling from a string. We're not what matters. No matter what argument you give them, the problem is how they look at us. Being treated like an easy bake makes me want to stick my head in one.
Hi. Hello. To let you know, we're gonna empty the very ends. Right here.
What, this? That's gonna be empty now?
Yeah. That's where they empty out.
Okay, thanks for
Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Wait a minute, I have the perfect poem for this. It's about the end of the world. This poem is called End Times in Cinema. I think if the world were ending, I'd take a girls' trip. I'd go to the beach and shack up in a beautiful swanky hotel with no one in it. The night before, I'd hold a ritual to convene with my ancestors, deities, and spirits. Let them know to save me a seat. I'm coming soon. Then I'd take the world's most intricate bubble bath. I'd have 1,000,000 candles. I'd put in so many herbs it'd be more of a human soup. I'd do a face mask and meditate before I fell back in the cushiest bed in my nicest pajamas.
Oh no.
The next morning, I'd order room service.
Hysteria,
Yeah.
stop for a second. Are you emptying these out now?
Yes, but it should run to the side and into the gutters.
It's,
Can I do it?
we have all this electronic equipment.
It's already handled.
be
But
okay?
thank you for the
Okay.
concern, I appreciate it.
Alright.
Can I do it? I am so sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is terrible. We're supposed to go till 5. We're supposed to have it till 5.
It happens at 4, that way we can move to the 5.
Yeah, sorry, I think you should back it up.
Okay.
Only for
Sorry, I'm so sorry. You should start your poem again.
No, it's okay.
No, it isn't.
The next morning, I'd order room service that'd never come just to give me something to look forward to. I'd take my hair down from its curlers and put on glittery eyeshadow and a red lip. After dabbing perfume behind my ears, I'd say goodbye by the empty room out loud. The beach is empty aside from a few groups of people. I'd watch kids play with a beach ball. Their parents didn't tell them. They just wanted their kids to have a fun beach day before the end. I'm leaned back in a beach chair with sunglasses on and a joint in one hand, waiting for the horizon to become a different color. I take lazy, slow hits and watch the smoke disperse. My head leans back while I shut my eyes, and I wait. Should we clean out, or should I do a couple more?
We still have another reader coming.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, let you go, because I'm going to go there whether it's like a river coming down.
I got you. All right. I'm getting up in the stool. All right. Let me see here. What are we feeling like? What do you guys want to hear? Because I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what to read.
Stuff from your upcoming book.
Oh, we want to hear stuff from nature and the
Amygdala.
amygdala? Yes, thank you. All right. I'll start with Vengeful Doe. There are times the tranquil become terrifying, where the peaceful bedded deer so serene opens its head to show rows of teeth, ready to kill the coyote who ate her baby. She gorges herself, mashing its body in its terrifying hidden cavity, but she decides not to eat him. She doesn't want to sully the place next to where she carried her child. Frenzy. A six-tongued beast runs up a berm. It roars 1,000 languages with lifeless eyes that only look to the past. A walking corpse. It's eaten its own brain, having become mad. Screams fall from its open mouth like water. Its tears are loud. They come out with a deep gurgle and a pop from the ducts as they fall. It sounds more like boiling than it does weeping. Laid down by the lake, it vomits mud into the water, killing fish near the bank. Though hungry, it cannot eat. A stone fills its stomach. It's forever starved and never satisfied. It begs for death. Conversations with a Tree. Don't you think our veins look like trees? Whenever I look at my wrists, I can't help but think about the leaf-bearing branches. The earth has tree veins in its skin as well. They grasp up at the sky, the vast blue just out of reach. Nonetheless, it cries for them, drenching them with remnants of love through sick, lonesome tears. This isn't from that book. I'm going to stop there because I don't want to read too many of them, so you guys have to pick up the book and you have to read it. This is called Clairvoyance. Read my palm while you intertwine my fingers. Tell me my future is good and that we're blessed by the universe, that the gods smile upon our union. See me in ways the naked eye can't. Whisper prophecies of good fortune and safety into my ears. New York Sandwich. I went to New York when I was 16 and rode the subway a lot of places, and wondered why the locals didn't have smiles on their faces. Everything was so pretty and shiny. It seemed unreal that people had the reputation of being mean and whiny. Then I rode the subway. Everyone in it was so different, and it was wonderful. Even just being on the train was an interesting event, until how the second half went. The doors opened and I noticed the scent. The metro smelt like ammonia. I was sat next to the door, and it was pretty quiet until a man who was mumbling to himself started banging his head on the door next to me. My first reaction, out of shock, was to laugh, but then I realized it felt wrong to have a gaffe. My mom told me not to look at him, so I averted my attention, and I realized no one acknowledged him. Everyone was acting as if he wasn't there. Maybe I would have thought I imagined him if my mom hadn't pointed out my stare. Now I know why no one smiles. I think I have time for one more. Yeah. Alright. This one's called Sad Clown Paradox. I am decorative, a display of hilarity and glee. I am fun. I am a colorful jubilee, laughing pleasantly, compliantly. But there is more to me than what you can see. I dance upon a stage with no music, moved by the strings attached to my arms and knees. But the one in control has never been me. I fail to move to the right tune because there never was one. Will I leave in fear and tears or bow to the applause of an audience that barely found me fun? I am a colorful little companion who will bend my limbs at will. Someone you can throw around and know I'll come back still. Someone who will stay quiet because when I hear my own voice, I find it shrill. To be forgotten after they tire of my small stuffed body filled with wire. They do not see me, face washed and makeup shed, lying awake alone in my bed, sitting in my nightgown. My species is human, not a clown. Thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate you.